Welcome to the Summer Concert Series. It is the 8th concert. Today we have the Detroit Community Band, and they are going to perform a July 4th celebration. It is July 2025.
For our 3rd of July concert. And before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsors for sponsoring our concert series, because without them, our series would not be possible. First, I'd like to thank our title sponsor, Moses Roses, Accounting Plus, Lincoln Park Community Credit Union, Hennessy Engineers, Downriver Spring, the Lincoln Park Chamber of Commerce and Fantasyland, and Corewell Health. Thank you so much to our sponsors. We have our concert box up here. We'd like to give the Parks and Recs Department a donation today. The band that gets the most donations will open up for us in the 2026 season. We also are selling some lovely concert t-shirts if you'd like to buy them inside. They're $15 with the full band list on the back if you'd like to take one home today. Please check out our food trucks. We have a concession stand open inside of room A. We have restrooms inside and outside. And we're about to have a lovely patriotic concert this evening. So please give it up for the lovely men and women, the 60-plus musicians of the Downriver Community Band.
Please rise and remove your hats for playing of the national anthem.
Mike's got to be in the center of her. A little bit.
Who else is always up there in this?
Well, Dave. So who else? Oh, okay.
I'm not saying they're the same.
Now.
There might be some similarities.
We did a lot of work.
I still remember come on the dance floor. He's like, don't worry about the camera guy flopping around. He goes, there's the piano. Yeah, it was fun. Done broke it. Yeah!
Thank you very much, and welcome to the wonderful Lincoln Park Band Shell here in Lincoln Park, Michigan. We're the Downriver Community Band. I'm Patrick Jensen, your conductor for this evening. I'm very excited for this concert for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're celebrating a great cause, July 4th. Tomorrow, we're going to provide some wonderful patriotic music for you tonight. Number two, we got a wonderful weather evening. I'm always worried a little bit about outdoor concerts. If you were at our concert last year when we played here, it was like 100 degrees, direct sunlight. Man, that was a microwave up here. So I'm thrilled that it's a little bit more comfortable tonight. I think a lot more of you came out because of that. And then three, this is, I think, the first concert I've ever done where I'm conducting a group in a city that I live in. It's the first concert ever. Recently, I moved to Lincoln Park. I live like a handful of blocks that way, right over that way. I almost walked to today's concert, but then I realized how hot it was, and I thought I'll just drive and save myself a little bit of sweat. I'll get sweat going up here, no doubt, waving my arms around. But I'm excited to be playing a hometown concert for you guys. But we got, like I said, a wonderful program, patriotic music. That was when the Saints go marching in the start, and we're going to move on with one that goes back to the Revolutionary times, which we call Concord, which is actually a medley of three different sort of revolutionary type tunes. The second one is an interesting one. It's actually called America, but it's not the America I bet all you knew. It was another tune called America that was also around way back in the day. And what's kind of ironic about it is that back then, this version of America was the big pop hit, and the one that we know today was kind of the lesser known number. So here it is, kind of going back to the old timey times of the revolutionary music with Concord. Thank you so much. We even played Yankee Doodle in 7/8 at the end. 7/8. Just like Money by Pink Floyd. But anyway, so moving on with one that's probably a little bit more familiar to a lot of you. We're going to do a medley of tunes from the musical Wicked. Kind of timely just because of the movie that recently came out, and I think if you're a fan of the movie of Ariana Grande and all the spectacle of that, I think you'll recognize a few familiar tunes here. Here's highlights from Wicked.
We actually love the music. I wasn't sure I would, but it was really good. Yeah.
Should I see it?
patriotic concert can be complete without some music from the great John Williams. And John Williams is in his 90s now, but he's still working. He's still writing music for movies. He's putting out some great stuff still. And of course, he has a wonderful back catalog. All of his movies of Steven Spielberg and everybody else. It seems like he can't put out a bad score. We're going to feature actually a few tunes from John Williams tonight. The first is going to be the Raiders March from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first of the Indiana Jones movies. And this one actually, when John Williams brought the ideas for this to Steven Spielberg, he actually had two marches in mind. And Steven liked both of them so much, he's like, why don't you just put them both together? So you'll hear there's like this kind of sharp percussive part that starts this one, and then a B section that's more lyrical, and it kind of slides a little bit more. Those are the two different marches that you just kind of smashed together and made a big hit. So here's the Raiders March.
Everybody else out there, I know. I remember, I know.
Tune is going to be a tune that some of the experienced members of the audience might not be familiar with. I guarantee if you're of a certain age, a younger age, I guarantee you know what we're going to play right here. It's not only one of the biggest movies of all time in terms of children's comedies, but it's literally, I think, the best-selling video game of all time. It's Minecraft, and Minecraft is a game where you can kind of, there's like a story mode, and you can slay dragons and do all that kind of stuff. I find the more creative side of it to be more interesting, where you can literally have a blank canvas in a virtual world and make whatever you want, just using little blocks and your creativity. And people have done some remarkable things. People have made like 1-to-1 scale models of Manhattan. They've done the Grand Canyon. They've done downtown Detroit. You can find all this. It's amazing what people can do when they put their minds to it. The music that we're going to be playing was slightly featured in the movie, the new movie with Jack Black and all them, but really it comes from the original video game. So if you're a fan of the original Minecraft, some of these themes might be familiar to you. Here we go.
That probably, yeah, it probably helps to know something about it to watch the movie. It's just so silly. It's funny to see Jason Momoa. That part was terrible.
On my 9600 quad phone line, you had a second phone line.
My kids were into Mario Brothers
Zelda.
and Zelda.
This is 82. When did you have your kids? The 70s?
No.
No, we were
Well, I'm talking 1982.
Most of the street you don't understand that. Everything makes space. Everything. If you throw a bunch of stuff in space, right.
We're going to bring the box around so it's easier for you guys to donate right here. Remember, for it's the kids' programs here in the city, we really appreciate anybody who can give.
Now, it's the end will start to curl in from
The next selection, we're going back to the world of John Williams here. This is going back to the late 70s, right about the time he did Star Wars, and it's another one of his Steven Spielberg collaborations from that time into a movie called 1941. Is that really well remembered? I think in modern day, it's a pretty good movie. I think it has its moments. It's more of a war comedy. That's how it's described. Actually starring Don Belushi of all people, Dan Aykroyd in the making of it. But the reason I bring this up is that when you hear it, it has a militaristic sort of marchy style, but you can tell this movie's a comedy with just how he puts the musical elements in there, and you can almost hear the musical jokes, in the form of what the band's doing right now. So there you go. A march from 1941.
That's the movie. What? The movie 1941.
Oh, yeah.
That's another Spielberg. One of his lesser popular.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Belushi was in it, was kind of crackpot.
It was kind of, yeah.
At the wooden Ferris wheel rolled down the street. That was okay.
Hit a home run every time.
Now he was freaking about it.
investment to get the 3% special government rate, and it's at 20 grand in like 2007. But then when my mom passed away,
Thank you very much. Okay, our last John Williams selection tonight is going to be some music from the original Jurassic Park movie. And I promise I did not plan this, but you probably heard that the new Jurassic Park movie, I think it's Jurassic Park 7, I think it is coming out this weekend. I did not plan that whatsoever, just happy accidents that happened for us. But it's one of my favorite John Williams scores. It's one that I grew up on. I was obsessed with Jurassic Park when I was younger, which is really kind of weird when I look at it now, because when you watch that movie now, that movie is a horror movie. That is a scary movie, and they marketed it towards kids, and man, I ate it up when I was younger. I loved it when I was younger. But we're gonna feature a couple of the tunes, some spooky music at the beginning, the kind of soft contemplative theme, and then the triumphant march at the end.
92. It was cheap. It was
yeah, don't have the basement and stuff.
no basement.
No basement, no garage.
Still no garage, huh?
Yeah, it was smaller than the other houses too. We don't fit in the neighborhood.
Mom and Dad bought ours when I bought it in 97. He did a little bit of it. But the first thing I found was Thanksgiving that year. I didn't have a plug outside, so I was plugging after the porch lights so I could do some lights on my thing sometimes. Turned them on, and then the wife turned on the microwave and flipped the breaker.
Or you need a new electrical, yeah.
Oh, well, that was the I2C breakers. Remember the push button?
Yeah.
Horrible quality. I got rid of them, so I changed that panel out. But yeah, whoever wired up the microwave for my dad, the 1100 watt one, wired it into the lighting circuit for half the house was on. They didn't know what they were doing. I do electrical, but I'm electronic technician. I don't use electrical. I did a lot of work.
I think they have to take our walls out.
Yeah, mine I was able to fix fridge is supposed to be on the dedicated circuit.
That's an alarm. You can't fit it into the
Really? Yeah, you just have to wall behind my front door. And I wanted the bigger fridge. this house is built to have an oil change. With a big oil tank. Maybe my dad got a gas tank. It wasn't a high efficiency. It was whipping everything.
Yeah, I like the original.
You know, in 05, we bought it in 97, 05.
We're going to switch back to some Americana here, which is How Sweet the Sound, one of my favorite arrangements we're playing tonight. It's basically a fantasy on Amazing Grace. You'll hear the tune Amazing Grace kind of done in different forms throughout the tune, slow and fast, and kind of meandering in different keys. The story behind this, though, is that this was actually dedicated to a band director and his mother, who had recently passed away. And the mother had a tradition of, in the afternoon, she'd like to go out to her porch and kind of enjoy the nice weather like we have tonight, and she would sing Amazing Grace. And so at the end of the tune, you'll hear it's kind of played in all these kind of fantastical ways, but then at the end of the tune, it's played very simply. It's almost like it's a choral. You can sing along with it, and that's supposed to be the grandma on her porch singing. And to kind of emphasize that, the arranger also put in all these percussion sounds. You hear them at the beginning, but they're also throughout. But it almost sounds like you're on the porch. You can hear the wind chimes accompanying the tune to Amazing Grace. So it's a nice ballad for you. I love this arrangement. How Sweet the Sound.
Plus, I have a tankless water heater I put in the car. And a good high efficiency bar. You don't make him do any?
On occasion.
Yeah, when we broke it, I had to help her do it a lot. But this one, yeah, it's pretty good. So that, yeah, usually I'm in the top 20% of everything used for the size of the house. We got 4 people.
When we go out to our son's house, the one in Lansing, that's my job. Load and unload the dishwasher. I asked for that job.
My wife on this one, I told her, Lord, she didn't follow my I like the farting. My party days are long gone. I never drank so much. I mean, in high school I did. It was legal at 18, and then the Navy here. You know, I did it just rarely, but I still
My brother and dad at Camp 22, when you could drink at 18.
Donations, anybody over here? Donations, anybody? Yeah, I seen you up there.
number 1.
Thank you for doing that. Donations, guys? Oh, yeah. I thought you guys, that seemed like yesterday.
chicken shack to get dinner tonight. My wife decided I'm cooking. And yeah, I took Lafayette up to Seacott and back that way. So I just played the crap myself. A lot of times I run to the culture there too. I can see if they were actually doing some work, but there ain't nothing being done. Somebody said they're going to clean the line. You know, it's Wayne County Main Road.
Don't take 3 months to clean them.
They redid the ones here a little bit better. They're not super wide, but they are just enough space. Yeah, the first set was way too
I have to get a portable one. Right now, that's just so close. I can't do a plan that
good weather, good music. Yeah!
I would take one of those cats from here, but right now my cat is sick. He's got that virus. Oh, what is that? Herpes. Feline herpes.
Thank you very much. I think I'm either gaining weight or we got a malfunctioning podium that's squeaking up here. So I think I fixed it. It's gonna be better. We're gonna move on with one that is really important for concert band history. This ensemble you see up here tonight is a pretty new ensemble when it comes to classical type music. You know, orchestras have been around for a long time, other iterations of that, but the concert band has really only been around since like the early 1900s, right around there. And they really started because of military bands. Some people that were in military bands, sometimes they would play concerts outside of a military situation, or those who were vets and wanted to go out into the community and play their songs. And that's how the music kind of got out there. Education was also a big part of it. But we look back at some of these early military pieces as some of the truly original concert band pieces ever produced. And we're going to play one of those for you today. It's by a very famous composer named Gustav Holst. He's actually an English composer, but he's the guy who did, if you guys know the planets, you know, like Mars and Jupiter and all that, same composer did that. He put together 2 military suites. We're going to play the second of them today, which is called the Second Suite in F, and we're just really happy to play it. I actually played this, I think we did this on one of the first concerts I ever did with the band 10 years ago, and we haven't pulled it out since, so we're excited to present it for you here today. So in 4 movements, the Second Suite in F.
Well, if he was a kid in 93, that's hard.
Charlie is having a good time. He has a tiny bit of when it clears up the rain and everything, it's a lot and they're more contact. Yeah, so it's like, it's yeah. Naturally, they're not
Just a little shot that doesn't make any sense. But you see all these cars, then you see that turn. Oh, that's so funny. I wanted to document it. It was on the same day.
So, it's still work in progress.
Yeah, they're not done. We can flush it through, but they're not done.
You don't have to not flush it.
Yeah, right. We can do that at the time. But they still have to level the backyard to make sure we're out.
But they filled them.
Yeah, it's all so the filling in part's done.
That's progress.
Yeah, that was the head street's not done. They're now repaving the street. Up St. John. That's the
real thrill to play for you guys. Did you notice at the end, it's one of my favorite musical moments in concert band. It's a duet between the smallest instrument in the group, the piccolo, and the largest instrument in the group, the tuba. You get a little duet right at the end. It's really fun. All right, but we're going to move on. We got nothing but patriotic music for the rest of our program. And our next tune is going to be the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which I want to preface just by saying we're doing a really cool concert coming up in August for a really important cause. We're supporting the organization 22 Too Many, which is an organization that brings awareness to veterans, mental health, and suicide awareness. It's a fundraiser for that organization. It's going to be August 19th at the Grecian Center in Southgate. It's a wonderful venue. It's a nice covered pavilion that we can play at. And anybody who wants to come hear some wonderful music for a really nice cause, try to join us August 19th at the Grecian Center. It's going to be a good one. And we're going to play this one that night as well, but we'll have actually a choir accompaniment that night. So you get the stripped down version today. If you come on the 19th of August, you'll get the full version with a choir singing along.
Nobody goes up there. I think they're all afraid.
Awesome! Wonderful!
Even like
Excellent!
Clapping from these close and everything. Get them going, yeah, come on!
Next year should be old this year. Oh, well, you're like a dancing. Okay.
For our next selection, we're going to have Mike Beaton swing on the microphone right here. This is a man who has literally sang for multiple presidents. Please welcome Mike Beaton to the microphone.
Hi, Mike! Said Mike! office.
Well, that makes it's so much fun for you.
Oh, there's half a full moon.
Half a moon. It's just half a moon.
Well, that's
I'm gonna have to hold this.
My bald head, half a moon.
Rock and roll!
Rock and roll. I've never had that happen in my entire career. Lincoln Park. We are so thankful for our veterans. Let's give them a cheer. I'm thankful to be an Army veteran, and we now feature something for all of you veterans here this evening. When you hear the song from your branch of service, would you please stand and be recognized? In order, they are Army, Coast Guard, Marines, Air Force, and Navy. The Downriver Community Band is proud to bring you the Armed Forces Salute.
Yay! Thank you for your service.
Space Force. Yes, there is a Space Force.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the Army and its line, the Army's on its way. Count off the keys loud and strong. 2, 3, there we go. You always know the Army is rolling This is for the Coast Guard. boys, take us away. Farewell, darling boys, be safe and bring the day. Last night on shore,
Well, I liked it on the ship. We took our bedroom in the kitchen everywhere we went.
Thank you to you, and thank you to our veterans, of course. Without them, we would not be able to do what we do here today. All right, we're going to play one more tune for you. Before that, I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting the wonderful concert series they have here in Lincoln Park. It's a real treasure to the community what we have here at the Lincoln Park Band Shell. The amazing history that has been up here on stage, the rock bands, the classical ensembles, the speeches. There's so much amazing history that's been right here in this band shell. We're really honored to be a part of it. Heck, Lincoln Park, 100 years of Lincoln Park. Isn't that pretty cool? 100 years.
And
And like I always like to say at the end of our concerts, this is all volunteer ensemble up here. We're not a professional organization. We're basically a club that gets together on Tuesdays and practices, has some fun. We play music around the community throughout the year. If you would like to be a part of our organization, we're always open for new membership. You can be right up on stage next year playing here at the Lincoln Park Band Shell. Just talk to any of us after the concert, and we'd be happy to point you in the right direction. Like I said before, we have a concert coming up in August 19th at Grecian Center. We'd love to see some of you there. If not, have a great summer, everybody. Have a great drive and safe drive home tonight. And maybe we'll see you at some of the other concerts here at the
Happy
concert series here later.
249 birthday, USA!
Yeah, there you go. That birthday, of course. Happy Independence Day, everybody. Have a good one. Have a great weekend. To close out, here's Love, L-O-V-E.
We forgot to celebrate the American birthday. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
Didn't think we were going to leave you without playing some John Philip Sousa. Here we go. Have a great Independence Day, everybody.
God bless the USA.
World War I. it's really
There's something about knowing that all that sound is coming from people blowing these physical settings.
Yeah, no microphones.
Yeah, and just